So this is a study I did during my PhD. I utilised both, we have a sleep lab and we also have a virtual reality lab in the Department of Psychology. So what I want you to think about first is just reflect on how you slept last night. So if you slept particularly badly, you might find today that your anxiety levels are a bit higher than normal. And there's lots of research to support this link between poor sleep and higher anxiety levels. So one study's actually found that sleep-deprived students report a 27% increase in their anxiety levels from evening to the following morning after a night of sleep deprivation. And half of these students actually report anxiety levels that exceed the clinical cutoff for an anxiety disorder. So there's this clear link between a lack of sleep and higher next day anxiety levels. But what we're interested in is how sleep deprivation might influence anxiety during a threatening experience such as this one. So imagine you're walking through the dark streets late at night. Now, you might expect a threat can occur. For example, someone might jump out and attack you, but you don't know if this threat's going to occur, where it will occur, when it will occur, and if it does occur, how you'd even react to this. Now, this is something we call ambiguous threat, where there's uncertainty about the nature of the threat. So we were really interested in looking at how sleep deprivation might influence our anxiety in this kind of environment. So to do this, we recruited 54 undergraduate students. Half of these slept overnight in our sleep lab, so we're our sleep-rested group, and half of these were sleep-deprived, so they had to stay awake all night. In the morning, participants all completed this virtual reality threatening environment. We attached 2 electrodes on their fingers, which measured their skin sweat response, so this gave us our physiological marker of anxiety. Now, this VR world, critically, it cycles between periods of threat and then more neutral periods as well. So what this allows us to look at is whether sleep deprivation not only increases participants' anxiety to threat, but also impairs their recovery of anxiety when the threat has disappeared. So I'm going to show you a quick clip of the VR world now. So this is the first threatening part. So this is the hospital room. This one is a storage room, so they have to collect these lanterns as they walk around, so they're kind of forced to explore and not just stand in the corner. And then the last room of the first threatening part is this autopsy room. Again, they're having to collect the lantern. Yeah, imagine going through this after staying awake all night as well. So after this, they'd enter a series of neutral rooms, then they'd be back in a series of threatening rooms, and then again they'd finish in a neutral room. So just the main findings then. So you can see skin conductance level on the y-axis and room of the VR world in order on the x-axis. We found that sleep-deprived students had higher anxiety throughout this VR world, but this was particularly pronounced during this second threatening environment. So this suggests that sleep-deprived students were actually unable to regulate their anxiety when they were faced with threat a second time. And finally, we also looked at whether factors might protect against the effects of sleep deprivation on anxiety, because we know it's not always possible to get the sleep that we need for various reasons. So we focused on heart rate variability. So this is defined as a time between successive heartbeats. So if you have greater variability or higher heart rate, this is linked to better emotion regulation skills and a better ability to adapt to your environment. So we took a baseline measure of all participants' heart rate variability the night before, and we grouped them into whether they had a high or low heart rate variability. And interestingly, you can see that those in the high heart rate group, the differences between the sleep-rested and sleep deprivation condition have almost been completely abolished. So this suggests that factors like high heart rate variability might actually buffer against the effects of sleep deprivation. So just to conclude, this study supports a critical role of sleep in regulating our anxiety to uncertain threats, and it suggests that factors like high heart rate variability may actually protect against the anxiety-inducing effects of sleep deprivation. Thank you.